Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're talking about a former Carolina Panthers player who has already taken a major hit with his new team, and the news is not good. Cade, the center who spent the better part of 4 seasons in Charlotte, has suffered a significant wrist injury while in training camp with the Detroit Lions. Lions head coach Dan Campbell confirmed the injury and said Mays is expected to miss a significant amount of time. That is the kind of language coaches use when they know a player will be sidelined for weeks, maybe longer. For a player who just signed a 3-year, $25 million contract this past spring, it is a tough and unexpected blow. Let's rewind a little and remember who Cade Mays is. He was selected by the Carolina Panthers in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of the University of Tennessee. He was a solid physical interior lineman with good size and a mean streak in the run game. In his first 2 seasons with the Panthers, he saw limited action, making 7 starts across 27 games. Then came the summer of 2024. The Panthers released him. Mays briefly signed with the New York Giants during the offseason, but was cut again. In October of that same year, Carolina brought him back. He stepped into the lineup and started 8 of the final 11 games of the 2024 season. The 2025 campaign was his best yet in a Panthers uniform. Mays started 13 of 15 games, including the team's wild-card playoff loss to the Los Angeles Rams. He became a reliable presence in the middle of the offensive line, someone the coaching staff trusted to handle the physical, dirty work that centers have to do every single snap. Fans in Charlotte came to appreciate his toughness and consistency. He was never a household name, but he was a player who earned respect in the locker room and among the fan base. Then free agency arrived in March of 2026. The Panthers chose not to re-sign him. Instead, Mays landed a 3-year deal worth $25 million with the Detroit Lions. For a player who had bounced around and fought for his opportunities, it was a significant payday and a chance to start fresh with a competitive team. Detroit, of course, has been one of the strongest organizations in the NFC in recent years. Joining that locker room looked like a smart move for Mays until training camp began. Now the wrist injury has changed the picture. Wrist injuries for offensive linemen can be particularly tricky. The position demands constant hand fighting, grip strength, and the ability to lock out defenders. A serious wrist problem can limit a player's ability to do the fundamental things required at the position. Campbell's description of the injury as significant suggests this is not a minor bruise or a short-term setback. It could mean several weeks on the sideline, or potentially longer if surgery becomes necessary. At this stage, we do not have the exact medical details, but the early indication is that Mays will not be available for a meaningful stretch of the preseason and possibly into the regular season. From the Panthers' perspective, the timing is interesting. When Mays left in free agency, Carolina moved quickly to replace him. They signed veteran center Luke Fortner, formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars and New Orleans Saints, to a 1-year contract. They also selected Kansas State center Sam Hecht in the 5th round of the 2026 NFL Draft. Those moves suggested the front office felt they had adequate depth at the position. Still, watching a former starter go down with a serious injury on another team always brings a mixture of emotions, sympathy for the player, and quiet relief that the injury did not happen in Charlotte. For the Lions, this is an early test of their offensive line depth. Detroit has invested heavily in the trenches over the past few seasons, and they will now have to adjust their plans at center while Mays recovers. Training camp injuries are part of the NFL every year, but when they involve a newly signed free agent who is expected to compete for or hold a starting job, the impact is felt more sharply.